Hello, please just introduce yourself and tell us what your thoughts are regarding the role of government and citizens in job creation.
All right, I am Chumero Paladi, and let me just get to it. I don't. I think this is bigger than we think, right? I don't think, I'm guessing you mean in South Africa, right?
Yes.
I don't think that's the case. I think the case is very global than it is a country problem, right? So I was reading this other book, and it was talking about a group of people called precarians, right? So this is a group of people that are socially created intentionally so that you have a youth that has no jobs or security. You have a youth that is unemployed, or if they're employed, they're then employed temporarily. And in that way, capitalism thrives. And don't get me wrong, I love capitalism, right? But unemployment is created so that some people can thrive from that. You understand? So I think the problem might be way beyond just country policies. I think it's a universally created problem.
I think I agree when you say that some people benefit when others suffer. For example, if some people are unemployed, others prosper. But what do you mean by saying capitalism thrives under unemployment? How does that work?
For example, it's not basically only under unemployment. So remember the precariat type of people that I told you. So is, for example, if you look at a lot of employed people in this country, they are employed in a contract-based system where you don't have medical aid, you don't have security, they can fire you anytime. You're basically unemployed. You don't have anything, right? So in that way, your employer, the capitalist, benefits from that. They benefit from such a system.
Okay, so different employers give different benefits. Some employers give you medical benefits, while others don't. Others give you bonuses, others don't. And you mentioning that an employer is going to benefit if they don't give an employee the benefits.
If they don't hire you permanently, right? So the precariat idea, right, says that we're going to create a society of people who work, but they don't really work because their jobs are temporary.
Well, I understand. However, work is work, whether it's temporary or permanent. Work is work, and when you get into the employment, it's a negotiation. If you don't want that temporary employment, you could just say no. So why don't you say no?
And I disagree. Work is not just work. I don't think people who are working temporary jobs that they can lose any time, that they don't have benefits, they are insecure. There is nothing to, if, for example, if you count the teaching assistant people as people who are genuinely employed, then you're wrong. If you are employed and you can just be fired at any time because you're under a contract, you're basically unemployed. You're sliding on thin ice, basically, right? And I'm saying that that type of society is intentionally created so that the government is not entirely responsible to your security, because if they employ you, then they should be liable to you and your security and everything that has to do with a person who's fully employed by a certain company.
Okay, two things there. You mentioned that if you are temporarily employed, you could be fired at any time, and that's one aspect. And there's also an aspect where if you are permanently employed and you are a problem to that employer, it is such a difficult case for that employer to get rid of you, even if you really deserve to be fired, with CCMA and employment policies that the nation has. And from there, I can say that there are benefits and there are pros and cons for both the employer and the employee. Yes?
I'm curious, which society would you rather have? Would you rather have a society that's secure, there's employment, people are permanently employed, and actually their employers really care about them and not just making profit? Because, for example, I've once worked a contractual job, right? Every end of the year, I had to literally sort of beg for my contract to be renewed. So basically, I cannot get a medical aid, number one, so that my health is in danger. I cannot have long-term plans, right? That means I'm constantly stuck in a survival mode. You understand? And it should not be like that. I think you agree with me there. It should not be like that. But I'm telling you that if you go research about a precariat society, it is intentionally made to be that way throughout the world, right? So the problem with unemployment is not the government creating jobs, and it is intentionally done, right? So they want us to be either employed with no security at all or to be unemployed because it benefits them that way.
Okay, you make it seem like, you keep talking about these people, and for me, it's you, it's me, right? You and me are the employers. You and me are the employees. I create employment. You create employment. We can hire each other. So when you say it benefits them, in the case of you and me, who does it benefit?
It benefits the employer, right? Because you are
No, but I am. Let's say you. I feel like you're making it seem like it's so far-fetched, but really, a market, it's just you and me. Let's say you as an employer, would you do that? Would you do that? If you're a sensible employer, you can see that I'm adding value to your organization. Why would you do that?
if I'm a sensible employer, right? And okay, well, it doesn't really happen that way. Not all employers are sensible. They are focused.
Not all employers are selfish either.
Most of them, but honestly, let's be honest. Most of them, if you check a lot of jobs in South Africa, right? A lot of jobs in South Africa are contractual jobs, right? So you have teachers who are teaching in contracts. You have people who are working in banks as they're not permanent. They're in contracts, right? And therefore, they don't get to have the full benefits of someone who's employed, right? I'm saying that.
Okay, you saying it as if like we have 100 people and 80 of them are on contracts and 20 of them are permanent.
True.
Based on which data?
We're going through that wall.
No, right now, based on which data?
Oh, well, I cannot pull up the data right
No,
now.
but where did you get that information from?
I was doing a bit of research about this type of people that are intentionally created to be that way. And it was really concerning that you then come to realize that we're in a world where unemployment is intentionally created so that I don't wanna
You know how you... yeah, say it.
I don't want to say so that capitalism can thrive, because I am for capitalism, right? But I'm saying that we can balance between the two. Imagine if you own a company, ne? Imagine if you own a company. They're complaining about time. Imagine if you own a company, right? And you only employ people when you need them, right? But then in a moment where you don't employ them, they have nothing. They have nothing to fall back on. But your company is thriving and you only call them when you need them. It doesn't work for them.
You know what, as a person, you ought to do in that situation? Instead of you just complaining, let's say what you're saying is true and it's, happening perpetually. Instead of you depending on this person that's calling on you whenever he needs you, how about you empower yourself with the skill? How about you empower yourself with that free online education, a course, so that you are able to either start something of your own or to be employed by people who value you and are willing to give you permanent employment.
And I agree with you. But unfortunately, it looks like a beautiful thing that you're saying there. And I agree with you, it should be that way. But unfortunately, it's not that way. And I believe that we should... I think there should be a policy or something that if, for example... You can find out, I know people who have worked for a certain company for like 2 years and they're still contractual. Right?
But they can leave.
They can leave, but to where?
That's why I said empower yourself. Become a plumber, become an electrician, become a software developer. Why is it that you are giving all of your power or everything to that employer? You're saying this person is giving me a contract for 2 years. Who is stopping you? Nobody's chaining you to any employment. Nobody, absolutely nobody. If you're not happy with me employing you, you need to take that step to say, actually, I don't like what Katlego is doing, and I'm going to empower myself, and I'm going to leave her company. And if you are so valuable, and then I would be stupid to not give you a permanent thing, and then you leave and you go get a better salary somewhere else.
And I agree with you. It's supposed to be that way. But let's look at a very maybe an unlikely situation of a kid from a very poor background or a very disadvantaged community, which is a reality in South Africa, right? Once they lose basic income salary, right? The thing that they think about first is not to empower themselves, is to find something to eat. Let's be honest. And if you are constantly stuck in finding something to eat, empowering yourself is the last thing that comes to your mind, really. You understand? That's why you even find that there's some students in university who are actually like literally hungry. I think there was stats in the CTL that say that around 58% of the students run out of food sometimes. Around 3% run out of food every day, right? And you cannot really do anything if you're hungry. You understand? And I'm not saying that is the responsibility of businesses, the government, to give people jobs. People should not just get jobs. They should really empower themselves. But let's get the basics first. Let's get them fed up first. I mean, let's feed them first.
I have a problem with getting them fed up instead of saying, let's teach them how to feed themselves. For example, they could be a student's assistant. They could be working at the library. They could be working at McDonald's, at Spur. It's not feeding them. They're feeding themselves because they've taken initiative to go and find that work.
If you open such opportunities for them, you're feeding them.
I am not feeding them. They are feeding themselves, and it's a transaction. Just as McDonald's is giving you that 4,000, 2,000, 1,000, they are getting something from you. You are giving them your time, and they're giving you their money. So it's a transaction. There's nothing of giving them or you giving me.
This is how I think you're feeding them, right? If you go to me, I'm in the village. I'm hungry, I just lost my job because they no longer see value in me, which is understandable, right? So what I'm looking for now is food, right? I want to eat, I want to drink water, right? I want to survive, right? And you come to me like, okay, I think I have a job for you in McDonald's. You just need to do this and that, right? You are feeding me, and I'm also feeding to your company. And from that point, when I'm full, I can now think of, okay, let me actually enroll in a short course for management. Maybe I can be a manager at McDonald's, right? So I'm saying that you cannot expect a person to dream big if they're hungry. If you look at, the Maslow hierarchy of needs, right? Physiological needs, and then self-actualization is actually at the top.
Okay, sorry, we need to leave. However, I just want you to come out of the mindset of saying somebody needs to come and give you something, but rather develop a mindset of I can do it for myself. Why must McDonald's come to you? Why must I come to you? We're closing off. Thank you so much.